Hello, hello, Papa G and Janet and Bill Woods. Hey, Jeffrey. Good to see everyone here. Looks like that's all I can see on the main screen right now. Guys, I'm running a few minutes late. Something come up. We never know what we're getting here. But I do have some things to talk about, some good things. Is today the night? Is tomorrow the night? We'll have to wait and see. But let's talk about some things and we'll move forward. But let's say the pledge and play the music. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time to stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. Next to you, and defend her still today. So I just gave him God bless the USA.
That's type of cheese like that, you know. And then the hot dogs, wonderful. You know, for 14, I can't get up there and back for the gas. This is the idea that, you know, he could help me out there. He says not to. Yeah, God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, and that. And guys, as I get ready to do the kids version of the show, remember, kids, this show is not meant for children. You can watch it. Myrna and Bill and all of you, Diane, VA, everyone can watch it. The children and that with the permission of their parents, grandparents, or legal guardians, someone that's old enough for the responsibility to let these children be able to watch this. The music we played, Proud to be an American. Hey, Janet. The music we play is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. It's just something we've been doing for a long, long time. That being said, we'll move into the show, into the kids, into Jimmy and Patriot 11, Patriot Karate Kid, and Patriot Wyatt, or Patriot Little Princess, Patriot Hunter, her brother, And when I talk to these kids, these are kids that their parents or loved ones, someone in their family has followed us for a long, long time. And kids, this group here, Soretta and Papa G and Jeffrey, this is a group here, Susie Q, and all the children that we don't plan on breaking up. And I'm going to get into that later, but we're here, Super Jimmy. We're here to show the kids what we mean, and all of the children here, Bugs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie, Patriot, Little Leona, and Little Elan, Patriot, Cutie Pie, and Patriot 17 in the Ukraine. Then we have Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, who I had the honor to pick up today. One of them at the bus stop, one of them at the school, along with Patriot Small Gymnast. And that's what me and Patriot Small Gymnast did this afternoon. We watched gymnastics on TV all afternoon. Why the two older ones did what they needed to do, ended up playing on the trampoline where they can practice their gymnastics. Patriot Small Hank, I got to get up and get ready for school today. And Patriot Kira, I never know when I'm going to see her because she's with her mommy, Susie Q, and Karen Alsbury. She's with her mommy, and they're always gone. They're always on the go. But children, all I'm trying to say is we're living in a time right now, and we need you kids. We need you kids to step up and be there for us the way we're here for you. We was put here for a reason, kids. We was put here for a reason, and it's an amazing thing. The kids that I mentioned, they're in the Shabance and the Clifton School District today. My grandkids, they got out a half a day today, so Papa had to go pick them up, or Diane VA, Grandpa, I had to go pick them up. And my daughter looked at me and said, were they good for you? And I said, it was amazing. I took them out to eat to the Dairy Queen, and it was like, I never seen, since I used to bring Patriot Little Gymnast over here to Ron's every Friday when I was watching her. When I was watching her, I'd bring her over every Friday and we'd have lunch with Uncle Ron. He'd put cartoons on for her while me and him talked. And I'm telling you, this little girl would devour the burger. She would devour her chicken nuggets and eat her French fries, and she ate great. But when I take her with her brother and sister, they eat so fast that they're always trying to get her food. Well, I'm telling you, she got her burger today, and she never let go. And I mean, she beat me done with the burger. She said, Grandpa, look, I'm done, and you still got yours. And kids, that's what it is. Be there. Let's just be there for one another. As a song says, let's love one another right now. And that's what we need to do. We just need to, all of us kids, be there. But you need to look and see what you need to do. You need to follow in your parents' footsteps because they're patriots for a reason. They're patriots for a reason, and they chose to follow myself and Ron here in this group. And Robert, you've been writing me messages, and I haven't been getting back to you, but I did see one. Robert, you mentioned, you said, I'm sorry. I'm saying so much. Never be sorry. Send me as much as you want, but I was busy this afternoon. I did get back with you on one, but I will get back to you on the rest of them. And kids, that concludes the version of your show tonight. And I went through it quickly because we got a lot to talk about. And it's not a lot of me telling stories. I will tell some stories. But and I'm going to talk because I talk a lot about a girl named Julia. And today I got a picture from her the other day. Sunday was the Ukraine's Easter. They actually celebrate Easter when it's supposed to be. It's what I've been told. I celebrate it whenever they tell me to celebrate it. But it was their Easter, and she was telling me in the letter, how much she wasn't able to write me on Monday. And I was talking to the kids, and they said, well, I thought you wrote 5 days a week. And I said, well, this week only 3, because on Monday it was the day after Easter, and they give them the day off, just like I told my grandkids, just like they give you the time off, for the Monday after. And they're okay. And we got talking, and they asked if they could see pictures, and I showed them. I said, "Does that look like a plain ordinary Ukrainian girl?" And they looked and they said, "No." And I said, I talked to her. Almost every letter I write her, I talk to her about my grandkids, and she says she can't wait to come here and take Ella shopping. Because see, guys, I'm gonna tell you something about Ella. She put together a presentation on her tablet that I bought her for Christmas 2 years ago. She put together a presentation, and in the presentation, it was, "Dad, I really want to go to Olin Park Mall with you. There's a couple of stores up there that my friends have told me is really, really good. And I want to go up there. But I want to go with you, Dad, because you take Liam hunting and you take Liam to the sports stores and you do a lot with Liam. But we don't do much together anymore, Dad. And I really want to spend time for you. And the pros, Dad, is what's a long trip up there. It's an hour. The pros is we can play games up there. There's road games that we can play, or we can just talk and you can ask me what it's like to be growing up the way I'm growing up." And she says, "Because I know, Dad, sometimes I even upset you because I like to dress like 12-year-olds like to dress now, and you don't like that. But we can talk everything out, and instead of you telling me no, we can talk because we'll have an hour up and an hour back. And just think of the memories, Dad, we're making." And I'm telling you, everyone here, Myrna, you've met Ella, Robert, and, Gary, good to see you, Bill Woods and Robert, all of you guys that are here. This little girl, she just has a thing about her. She loves to go to the games, and when I'm sitting there watching whoever grandkid I'm watching, she loves to take my hat and wear it. Not because she's trying to embarrass me, but because she likes to show people that, hey, he doesn't care. Here's it doesn't define a man. What defines a man is how great of a grandpa they are, how great of a papa, and how great of a parent, and that they were. And I'm just trying to show things here that I'm talking to them. And I said, "Well, Julia's already told me she wants to take you and Addison and Kara shopping." And when I mentioned shopping, Ella goes, "Shopping? Oh, I love her already, Papa. And tell her in your letter tonight that I can't wait for her to take me shopping." And then something cute happened. Something cute happened with us on the weekend, guys, on Easter Sunday when we celebrated. Because I took Ella one day to Subway Sandwich. Now here's a little girl, you guys know her, you've seen her. And here's this little girl, and we walk in a Subway Sandwich. I said, "You can have any 6-inch you want. I don't care." She looks at me and says, "Papa, I can only have a 6-inch one." And I said, "Well, do you want a foot long?" And she goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay, you can have a foot long." And she ordered hers, and I ordered my foot long steak and cheese. And as I started to go to the table, there was a gentleman there that I used to work with at the factory we've been friends for 40 years, 50 years. And I seen him. I stopped to talk to him. I talked to him for about 2 minutes. And I sat down at the table and I looked at her and I says, I thought you got a foot long. She says, "I did. I've already ate 6-inch one of it. I've already ate half of it." I go, "You're kidding me." And then she takes the other 6-inch and I'm eating 6 inches of mine. And she takes it and she was done with hers. Like I was in like 3 bites. So on Easter, whenever I would mention Subway, she goes, "Subway, Subway." So yes, we have a date to go to Subway. But boy, she loves to shop. And she told me, she says, "Oh, if she'll take us shopping, she'll be my favorite in the whole world, Papa." But Myrna, and we go back and we say things. I'm missing something here. Oh, the Venezuelan Boulevard is back on Forex trading at 477. Huh? To $1 American. What does that mean? I thought we was all going 1 to 1. Is that 47 cents or $477? I'm confused. But anyway, we're going to talk about currency. We're going to talk about other things, guys. But I wanted to tell this story because they asked if I could see some pictures, because Julia has this thing that she wants me to call her just a plain ordinary Ukrainian girl. That's what she wants me to call her, just plain and ordinary. And there's nothing plain and ordinary about her. I've shared her pictures with several of you, And they looked and they go, wow, you know. But anyway, I'm enough talking about the kids and about Julia. Let's get into the show. DJT went yesterday and we went live on mainstream media, not on but off channels. He went live on Fox 32 and he declared that the war in Iran was over. He declared it was over. I seen the video. I seen it. And supposedly he did it. Now, whether he did or it was AI, who knows at this point?
I sent something today
What?
for you to read tonight about
Ron's got something for me to read tonight about it. I haven't got into there yet, but I do have a lot to read, so I'm not gonna be chatting a lot tonight. You know, I know some of you like it when I tell my story. Some of you, CA11001, how are you doing tonight? Susie Q, great to see you. You know, guys, if I miss your name, David Duffy, or Janet, I never miss Janet. Janet has started something here. Janet was always number one on when I would turn on. She was always number one on when I turn on. And all of a sudden, when I started praising her, now I swear there's people, when it gets time for the show to come on, I swear there's people sitting there just waiting. And I don't remember who was the first one on tonight because it had already moved up. So I can't give credit where credit is due. But the bottom line is guys, I believe we're setting storms here in Wisconsin. Last night we've had so much rain and we have had hail 3 and 4 times in the last 2 weeks. I'm going to be honest with you guys, because you're talking about the weather over here. You're talking about the weather, and I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hide it. I truthfully believe that everything is being controlled. They're trying to control us because of the weather's bad. We can't go out in it, right, Janet? Bill Woods, you're not going to go out in a storm. I literally was supposed to go get some test run the other day. And when I got away from the doctor's office to go 14, 15 miles into where I needed to go, when I got in there to go, I literally turned around. I called the doctor. I said, I'll go later this week or next week. There's no hurry. What's going on? And I said, you literally could not see 2 foot in front of you. I pulled over. When you pull over on a major highway, then you're always worried about some idiot that won't pull over and he's not seeing you and he comes off the road a little bit and bam, lights out. But the weather here is terrible all over. I was talking to Marianne last night and their weather is so bad they haven't had internet. On and off. And it's everywhere. And I truthfully believe they're doing this for a purpose. I do. Buy food, medicines, because sooner than we expected, the blackout will be global. In all countries of the world, you will see the military on the streets making arrests of corrupt PED drug traffickers. The EBS, the emergency broadcast system, is starting. EBS activation in hours, not days. 10 days of darkness is locked and loaded. Intel drops. Mass arrests, full disclosure. Oh, you heard it here first. Join or stay blind in a blackout. It is over. Iran has agreed to complete surrender, a major deal that Iran was forced to accept. The nuclear program has ended. Surrender of enriched uranium. The missiles program has ended. Opening the Strait of Hormuz. End of proxies. America takes over management of Iranian oil fields. Massive developments programs for Iran. Breaking, President DJT has announced on Fox News the war is over. So my question now is, the war is over. What are you going to do? What is going to happen now that war is over? That they've taken care of other places, that all the wars are over, but they continue stupidly. They continue to let the war in Ukraine and Russia. Now, my truthful opinion about letting the war in Ukraine and Russia, and I've told Julia this for the past month, I believe it's over. I've asked her, when have you really seen the military all over the place? When have you seen anything like this all over the place? And she stopped and thought, and she said, well, I haven't. What do you think, Virginia Elliott? I went to school with a David Elliott. Timothy Paul is here. Everybody's using technical names. So let's see what else we have. I did want to talk a little bit about a little prayer I want to say right now. Dear Lord, as we come here tonight, I was notified just a short time ago that part of a family that I used to be part of, and I still love and care for a lot of them, a man that was in that family, a man that I respected, and he always let me go fishing on his pond when I was down there in Missouri. I found out that he lost his battle with cancer, with his sicknesses and everything he went through. So, Lord, I'm asking you to look after their family, their loved ones, their children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, nieces, nephews, and all the family, and just look after them. This is the second big loss that this family has endured, losing to not being able to get on these special beds. And Lord, I'm going to ask you, how long do we have to go? How many more people do we have to lose? Good people, great people, do we have to lose before we're going to say this party's over, this show is done, and we're going to cross the finish line? But please look after this family, these members of this family. Mike was a tremendous guy. I actually called him Uncle Mike. He was a tremendous man. He was the son of my ex-wife's grandfather, who the grandfather was really and truthfully my only grandpa I ever had that I can remember. So this family is mourning right now, and please look after them and take care of them as we come to you, talk to you, and pray to you tonight through our Savior, your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Yes, I was told earlier that a man that I used to call Uncle Mike had passed away. And it's very sad when you have to announce something like that, CA and Papa G and Nita W. And as you could tell, I got very emotional because he's a man. Just because my marriage failed, just because there was no love in my marriage with my ex-wife and there's no love for her from me, that doesn't mean that the relationships you build when you have a second family go away just because you can't make it with your supposedly person that we swore in front of God that we would spend the rest of our lives together. But still, for that family, a family that had just, the ex-wife who had just lost, not just an uncle now, but just a short time ago, a sister, a family that had 4 sisters, and now they're down to just 2. Now, I could say a joke here, but I'm trying to be very respectful because, see, that's how I am. I hurt when other people hurt. And I think that's part of the reason we have this group. So I'm going to go into Bruce and the big call right now. And I'm going to be honest with you. Marianne explained to me what happened, and it sounded like, oh, mumble jumble. And then I went on our Telegram page, and there was a man in there that was really, someone in there really ripping Bruce, and I give him the opportunity. Everybody's entitled their opinion. Bruce is going to be Bruce, and he's going to sell Sue's products, and he's going to sell Bob's products, and he's going to have very little. But that's how they make their living. And you should never take food out of someone's mouth. See, because Bruce charges for this stuff. Bruce sells the products. Sue sells the products. But the bottom line is, guys, what they sell and what they do is crap. But it's the people who buy them. Why? When you know you're going to get on one of these beds, and Bruce even had the audacity to say that Bob's products would be an investment. It would be an investment into your health's future. And I'm thinking, he comes out and says right after that, he talks about how special these beds are. Whoa, that's like talking on both sides of your mouth. Try talking about it. You can't do it. Oh, this thing, try talk. You can't do it. Can you, David Duffy? So I'm going to see what Bruce had to say. I'm going to see what he talked about, and we'll discuss it if you feel like it. Thank you, Myrna. So, Bruce's big call, April 14, 2026, which I will declare was not a celebration call. He thought it might be. It was not. Intel is slowing down now, which is true. Many people signed new NDAs over 2 weeks ago, which I don't understand why he didn't elaborate on that. New people who? The people who's going to be working the redemption centers. Who signed them? But I'm tired of NDAs. There's a couple people that we follow. And every time they decide they don't want to talk to their followers anymore, they go under an NDA. But then they go away for a week, 2 days, 3 days. They go away from the people for just a short period of time. And when they do, they got to come back because they have to have the limelight. So I'd like to know who it was. Bruce hears from the military. He's got good info over the last week. It was solid, but the calls are Tuesday from the weekend. But the point that is, the info is good for this week, and I didn't understand that at all, but that's okay. 4 different sources on Thursday said that Tuesday and Wednesday were in play, and Thursday. Wednesday could be in play. One source talked by Friday. We could be there any day this week for notifications. One source in Reno yesterday who works with bondholders in Reno had a group of bond paymasters there, and they said things are moving along. One thing was we should be good for this week. Elaborating on what Bruce is saying here, I've seen in many, many places where they're saying that this week could be our week. If you go to TikTok, there's 3 or 4 videos on TikTok that if you're able to find them, there's 3 or 4 videos that literally say they don't think we can get by this week. This week is in play. We cannot hold our breath for this. All we can do is take it one day at a time, which is we've been doing. And we're very close. President the Hat had a true social regarding the wordly reset taking place. The USN and USTN money, they are in banks and redemption centers. We should hear announcements of how much gold the U.S. has soon. Why would he mention this unless it is related to gold backing the value of our currency plus other precious metals, assets including oil, natural gas, all things back the value of the USN. Wells Fargo servers will be putting out emails, and the big call will be posting the number on their page, and they will be sending out emails also. If they get the Canadian number that separates numbers, will be posted. Iraq seems strange. We need to wait on Iraq, seating a cabinet, and perhaps it will come tomorrow. We could get notified on Wednesday or Thursday, maybe a level of importance to it. Your utility bill and cell phone bill are good to take to the RV, Bring your currencies and Zim to the appointment. The dinar, dong, rupiah, etc. There is no NDA, but if you have,
Somebody said today you had to have your birth certificate too.
but if you have to have ZIM, if you have ZIM, you need to sign an NDA. Not sure how many days, up to 90 days. It depends on your demeanor. The thing I say about if you have Zim and it depends on your demeanor, here's what I'm questioning. If I have to sign an NDA, if my projects are rebuilding this town, I'm going to have to go in front of a special meeting to the town board members, but not only the town board members, we are going to have to advertise it, go door to door and talk to the people and say, please, this is for the welfare of the town, the welfare of your home, that helping you get out of what you're in. We want to do this for everyone. I would expect to have the whole town there. But how do I justify making these promises, what I'm going to do if I'm under an NDA? So does that mean that until the NDA is over, we cannot do the projects? How do I go to or have Julia in the Ukraine or this other young lady in the Russia go to these orphanages and give the slogans? If we build it, they will come. So we can start getting these children, their moms and their dads, maybe not replacing completely, but putting a loved one in a home of someone that's lost a child. What is the biggest thing about adopting a child? There is so many children that need homes. There is so many people. I've got 2 nieces that would love 1, 2, or 3 children. A third one, I think, would like 1 or 2. And I know other women that would love, men and women that would love children. They would be great parents, because I know one of my nieces and the nephew, they are the godparents to the little gymnast, the small gymnast. And I'm telling you, they spoil her. There's nothing. They did something to her at the Easter celebration the other day, and her godfather went and found the person and straightened it out real quick. You don't mess with my goddaughter. They want children so bad. They don't care about the age. They don't care if a little boy's 9 years old or 10 years old. They don't care if he's 15 or 16. They want children. This can happen, but they can't afford children because they would rather take and pay money for being sent to them by the state to people that all they want is the money. They don't care about the children. And right now the system is they would rather put children in homes that are not loved instead of letting people that would love them forever and ever. And this is what upsets me. What is the NDA? And I'm not going to elaborate a lot because, see, here's the thing. We will all find out. Right now, everything is speculation. I have told you so many times what I feel. I have provided a lot of information put together by Elaine and myself and others, that what we think you'll need at the end, when you go to the Redemption Center. Ron just said, what, your passport?
No, your birth certificate.
Birth certificate. Ron just said you need to take your birth certificate. He just read. I'm going to take my birth certificate. I'm going to take my passport. I'm going to take a couple of things. I'll have my driver's license, my ID card. And if they can't figure out who I am, then it's their fault, not mine, Gary. So anyway, another piece, all sanctions were lifted against Venezuela. So their currency, the bolivar, is good to go. The dong is high. I'm sorry. Kids, put your muffs over your ears. I'm sorry, but that's just not a... Oh, boy.
They could have said the dog is big.
Oh. Give me a second. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. It could have been worse. They could have said the dog is big. I told you kids to put your ears muffs on. The Zim is on par with the USD at $1 to $1. And I just don't imagine that. Can you imagine they're going to pay $1 to $1 for every Zim?
Only the first two.
Only the first two, but if you have two, and they're $100 trillion ones, they're going to give us 200 trillion. Boy, can we do some projects. But then after that, if we have projects, our own personal projects for our own money, on every 100 trillion we got after that, we can get 30 million or 35 million. If you don't have projects, you can get 15 million. So what I would be telling everyone, if you go and you have Zim and you don't have a project, say, yeah, I'm going to be working with Patriot 5 and Patriot 6. We're going to be working together. Hey, why leave that 20 million on the table?
Well, even if you have them do a project, you'll get.
Bolivar is about $3 to $5. Guys, remember when I told you to go out and buy Bolivar? When you could get it for next to nothing? Well, $1 million note that right now you could go. I showed people the other day what you could get them for. A $1 million note could be worth $3 to $5 million. And I think that's low. I think at the Redemption Center, it's going to be more like 6 to 10. But what does it matter? I know people that's went out and bought 400 or 500 of these. I might be wearing a pair of jeans of one of them. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is how much is too much? Plus, we're going to get all this other money. Boy, I'm having a hard time getting Bruce. A rough idea, write down how much money you have in all your currencies in Zim. At the same time, at the time of the big call tonight, we who exchange Zim currencies will get restitution, DOGE, tariff dividends at the Redemption Center. So we're going to get, if you have Zim, you're going to get your DOG and tariffs. But here's the whole thing. If you have Zim and you have that, who needs it? You know, everybody should get it at the same time. What they should do is they should do the DOG and the tariffs right now, get it out there, and then why would you even need it? Why would anybody notice? But it is what it is, and I'm not making the rules. Bruce put his call on hold at this point to go take a phone call. Bruce comes back now. Intel to finish up. When we go through that process, they do want us to have something for us to do with Zim money. They want us to have humanitarian projects, primarily creating jobs. Also, you can partner with Bruce on Rebuild America. If you get a DOG and R&R and tariff, they will place all that in your QFS account. So make sure you make a note on how much you receive for each of those payments. You will get a QFS card with a biometric print to access. You may need a 5-digit PIN code, a new email address. Wells Fargo gives you another card, and the QFS card moves monies to your primary and secondary bank. The Wells Fargo card can be used for your primary and secondary accounts, and you can use the interest you earn on that account. Wells Fargo says approximately 8% interest on monies we earn in those accounts. You will get a Q phone, like a satellite phone. You will get pages of bank perks from the bank to take advantage of. You will get debit, credit card, and you will be working when you leave the center. Remember, everyone who goes to the Redemption Center, everyone in the world will be getting a Q phone. If you're old enough to have a phone, you will be getting this. Not sure about the Iranian rebel. Maybe it will be in play with a peace deal, timing tomorrow through Saturday as it is now. To myself personally, when I was listening to Diane give the information about Bruce's call, I thought same old, same old. And, he did go over a lot of things. But sometimes, Papa G, sometimes David and Myrna and Janet, what?
You were listening to Mary Ann, not Diane.
I'm sorry. I was listening with Mary Ann. I said Diane because the next article I want to read is sent to me by Diane. But the whole thing is, we have to be patient. And I know David Duffy and Janet Jeffrey, expert, you know, Papa G. I think we're all getting tired, sick and tired of being told we have to be patient. It's time we get this done. Myrna says it. Bow wow, bah, boo. I can't even. I'm still trying to get over the tongue. So, Diane sent this, and I thought it was a good read. First time Diane sent me anything but Restored Republic in a long time. I thought she had forgotten me. Diane, as of last night, 6 p.m. EDT, I was told RV starts tomorrow. I was asked, and Tier 4B, I was told Wednesday. I was also told April 11th, Boulevard will pay very well. So that's where I am. That's where I am at. Totally lining up. Keep in mind that Tier 4B starting Wednesday tomorrow doesn't necessarily mean that we get notifications tomorrow or that we exchange tomorrow. It just means that it starts that can mean the U.S. Treasury sending out notifications to the leaders of the RV centers, and then those leaders have to get out to local people, the banks, and then have to get them out to us. I mean, that could take a couple of days, so please keep in mind, but we are there. And I truthfully believe this. I truthfully believe we are there. I truthfully believe that, as the song says, nothing is going to stop us now. And the reason I do is because even though I got my Bear shirt on tonight, I'm a Chicago White Sox fan. And in 2005, the Chicago White Sox won the World Series, and they adopted the song, Don't Stop Believing. And boy, did it PISS the Cub fans off. Because, see, we won the World Series before they finally won one 10 or 11 years later. By the time they won it, not many people in Chicago cared. You know, the White Sox had to do just what they always do. The White Sox had to show them the way. Show them the way to come home, Cubs. Show them the way to come home. The same way that they had to show them all of the other things. If you ever watch a Cubs ball game, you'll see the seventh inning stretch. The rest of the teams in baseball on the seventh inning stretch plays the song, God Bless America. The Cubs let a drunk old man stand up there and play Take Me Out to the Ball Game. They have special people come in who can't sing, that they get drunk and they sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. But yet every other team sings God Bless America. But yet the drunk old man that they honor, the drunk old man that they think is the greatest announcer ever, is the same man that the St. Louis Cardinals and the Chicago White Sox threw out because he was spitting and slobbering all over himself, and he was making a total butt out of himself. But yet the Cubs honor him. That's why I'm a White Sox fan. Plus, I love everything about Illinois sports. And my baseball, I love the White Sox. And my second favorite team is whoever beats the Cubs. And I didn't mean to go into a baseball thing here. I just wanted to make a point that, guys, things are going to change. Everything is going to be beautiful as we're moving along at a pretty nice pace. The Restored Republic via the GCR update as of April 15, 2026. The global financial landscape is reportedly on a PRECI precipice of a transformation unlike anything seen in modern history. According to recent reports compiled by journalist and author Judy Byington, the long-anticipated global currency reset, GCR, has moved from theory to reality. As of mid-April 2026, the narrative suggests a meltdown of the traditional D blank, 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 a few more blanks, E empire, signal that by the end of the D blank, 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 H of the fiat US dollar and the birth of the new gold gold-backed sovereign system. While Byington notes that this isn't a final goodbye to the community, it marks a transition into what many are calling the other side. The cornerstone of this report is the alleged termination of the petrodollar and the SWIFT system, which reportedly occurred at midnight on Tuesday, April 7, 2026. The shift marks the end of an era of fiat currency dominance replaced by gold-backed quantum financial system, QFS, spanning 209 nations under this new order. President the Hat is said to have seized control of the Federal Reserve, replacing it with a sovereign U.S. Treasury note system. One of the most striking claims within this update is the total overhaul of the tax code, suggesting that income tax have been abolished in favor of tariffs and singular 14% sales tax on new goods only. The timeline provided in report suggests the world is currently within a critical window of transition. Telegram communications from sources like the Emergency Broadcast System and Carolyn Bazette Kennedy point to an imminent event, potentially the 10 days of darkness characterized by power fluctuations and internet interruptions as the QFS sinks at the highest level. The period is described as the final bleeding out of the old financial fiat beast as the gold-backed accounts begin to flip high across the globe. For those in Tier 4B, the internet group of currency holders, the logistical detail are becoming increasingly specific. Sources indicate that notifications to set exchange appointments could happen as early as mid-April 2026, according to the Big Call with Bruce. The U.S. Treasury note USN is expected to be officially announced as gold-backed by Treasury head Scott Bassett. Additionally, the report notes that as of April 12th, money accounts mirrored on the new system have already gone live through users will still need to attend appointments to finalize their positions. Finally, the report provides a stern advisory regarding how to handle these exchanges. Byington emphasizes that currency and bondholders should look for emails from Wells Fargo, reportedly acting under direction of the Chinese elders to schedule appointments. A key takeaway for participants is the preference from redemption centers over traditional banks, because many banks are still perceived to be under the control of the old C blank 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 L. We all know what that is called. The report suggests that redemption centers offer better rates for the dinar and are the only locations authorized to handle ZIM. They will also offer higher rates for others, but we're not going to go into that right now. Go to a redemption center. That is where you will get your best and the only place you can repair your ZIM. If you choose to go to a regular bank, don't expect to get what you would get. But if you have many millions of dollars and you're willing to do it, do what you feel best and more comfortable with. Judy's disclaimer: please be aware that I report the news as I find it. I try to credit articles with their original author, and I am not responsible for contact information in post or articles from social media sites that I quote may or may not be true. I report this information for educational or entertainment purposes only, and not as fact. I encourage you to do your research and make up your own mind of what is happening in the war of God against evil. God be with you till we meet again. I usually say a prayer when I get ready to end the show, but there's a beautiful prayer that I'm going to read tonight in place of the prayers that I say. At this point, I know a lot of people usually leave when I say prayer, but I'm going to say this. I'm going to read what Judy put in this prayer. God be with you till we meet again. By his counsel's guide, uphold you. With his sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. When life's perils, they confound you. Put his arms unfailing round you. God be with you till we meet again. Till we meet, till we meet, till we meet at Jesus' feet. Till we meet, till we meet. God be with you till we meet again. In closing, everyone, and tonight's show went a little faster than I did. I actually could have told some stories, but you know what? I came in here. Michael James says, Ralph, I love you. But you know how many times we've heard this. I can't believe anything unless it's in my hand anymore. I'm sorry to hear that, Michael. I really am. Because all I've ever did on my shows is try to build people's spirits up. As you can tell, the way I got laughing, how many shows have you watched that you've ever seen anybody have so much fun as I do? I'm not here to tell you that everything is going to happen, but I'm here to tell you it only has to happen one time. It doesn't have to be forever. It doesn't have to do this, and it doesn't have to do that. And if you feel that way, I feel like I failed you, because all I'm trying to do is build your spirits up. But you know what? My spirits are up because I believe. See, I believe in God, and I believe God appointed us to be here. Why? Have you ever asked yourself, any of you, have you ever asked yourself, why are you here? What give you the calling to be here? Me, it was the love of God in Jesus Christ. It was also Mr. Pillow. It was also David Rodriguez and Juan O'Savin who come out and said, we just came from the greatest convention ever. And guys, I've been in so many conventions. I've spoke at some of these conventions where thousands of people was out there. And this is coming from a high school kid that was almost held back and had to take his senior year over because I could not get up and do a oral book report in front of people that I went to school with for 12 years. Yeah, we didn't have kindergarten, or if we did, people didn't go. But all I come here is to just try to have fun, to laugh, to joke, to talk, to give you guys the opportunity. And you can express your opinion. But if you actually feel that way, I feel I failed you. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going because, see, my feeling is we are right on the finish line. And if you need it to be in your hands, then that's all you need. And if that's your feelings, then I support you. But my feelings is I would rather stay positive. And even if the positivity goes away, and guys, I'm not a God. I'm not a saint. I have come on here and I have cut people down. I have cut on here and I have cut the president of the United States of America down and told him it's time to crap or get off the pot. It's time that someone else takes a turn taking that dump. Because that's all they would do for us for a while is they dump and they dump and they dump. But you know what? It's not the stinky dump anymore. It's the dump that's going to change our lives. I choose, as I told my brother Russ Easter Sunday, when he says, I want it to be true, but I don't believe it. And I said, well, if you want it to be true, what do you do to make it true? He goes, nothing. And then I read an article from his daughter, and I see an article, a comment from his daughter and his wife, and they're cutting our president, my president, down, and then bragging about how good the last president was. Are you bleeping kidding me? So many people have got their eyes open now because this man has went out. And do I think he's perfect? No. I keep reading articles. He'll be leaving the show. He's not real. But then I read articles that he's going to be the king of the world. So what do you believe? You believe in what your heart says to believe. And you're going to have days like this. You're going to have days that you have to have it in your hand to believe it. And I only hope and pray the day you go to the redemption center, they give you a little extra cash. Just, I don't care if it's $1,000, but you walk out of there with $1,000 and then you can believe. But I believe right now, and I'm never going to, I told you, I'm a Chicago White Sox fan, and I've lived that song since 2005. I don't stop believing. I don't comply. I don't give in, and I don't surrender. I didn't wear the mask. I lost a doctor because I wouldn't get the shot. And I will do anything to protect children. The money is secondary. The health is the most important thing. And I have talked to women who has been trained on these beds. So yes, as the monkeys say, I'm a daydream believer. And it's not because I thought love wasn't meant for me, because I know God and Jesus Christ has meant love for every one of this family. As I come to you, talk to you, and say good night to you. Everyone have a great night, and I'll see you Friday night. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow night, Bruce might have a celebration call. Maybe while Bruce is doing it, and they're trying to sell Bruce's Susan and Bob's product, maybe we'll come on and have our own celebration call, and we'll call it Celebrate. You know what? We used to have family get-togethers when some family members of ours was still alive, and we always had to get up and dance to celebration because we always had a celebration. And I'm proud to be an American, and nothing's going to stop us now. Good night, everyone. God bless, and we'll see you on Friday night.